pyramid, they were not professional soldiers, but merchants. In the Mongol Empire, trade was about much more than just buying and selling goods. Genghis Khan placed Silk Road caravans under his protection. However, he had one condition. They had to bring back intelligence from every city they visited. The Mongols utilized these merchants as spies with diplomatic immunity. How high are the city walls? Is the populace satisfied with their rulers? What weapons does the army possess? This was at the very core of the tragic Otrar catastrophe involving the Khwarezmian Empire. The suspicion that the merchants in Genghis Khan's caravan were spying triggered one of history's most devastating conflicts, because for Genghis Khan, to touch a merchant was equivalent to attempting to blind him. Gathering intelligence was not enough. It had to reach the center with lightning speed. This is where the legendary Mongol postal network, the YAM system, comes into play. Described in The Secret History of the Mongols, this system consisted of relay stations established every 30 to 40 kilometers. A courier would ride his horse without rest, and upon arriving at the next station, he would leap onto a fresh waiting horse and continue his journey. We are talking about speeds reaching up to 300 kilometers per day. Until the invention of the telegraph, this was the fastest communication speed humanity had ever achieved. The paisa, token of authority. Messengers carried gold or silver paisa tablets inscribed with, "By the power of the eternal blue sky, the messenger of the Khan." Anyone who saw this tablet was obligated to assist the courier, providing him with horses and food. Security. Strategic information was sometimes not written down, but carried through memorized poems and songs. This ensured that even if a courier was captured, the enemy could not seize a physical secret document. Thanks to this, Genghis Khan could learn of a rebellion or a victory thousands of kilometers away, as if it were happening in the next room. Riding at the vanguard of the Mongol army were the suicide squads and reconnaissance units known as the Mangudai. Their purpose was not merely to harass the enemy, but to gauge their reactions and lure them into devastating ambushes. The Mongols utilized intelligence not just for gathering facts, but as a tool to spread sheer terror. Their spies would infiltrate cities, spreading terrifying legends and rumors. The Mongol horde is a punishment sent from the heavens. Their numbers are as vast as the sands of the desert. Those who surrender will be spared. Those who resist will be wiped from the face of the earth. Thanks to this calculated disinformation, many cities surrendered the very moment they caught sight of the Mongol banners on the horizon. The enemy was already defeated in their minds long before they ever drew their swords. Before ever laying siege to the Great Wall, Genghis Khan carefully analyzed the ethnic fissures within China. Mongol spies discovered that the Khitans, living under Chinese rule, were being marginalized and oppressed. Through covert channels, they broadcasted a message of liberation to the Khitan nobility. "We are coming to set you free." When the war finally broke out, thousands of soldiers stationed at China's most critical defensive lines laid down their weapons and defected to the Mongol side. Genghis Khan did not conquer China with brute force alone. He dismantled it from within through the power of intelligence. This was his greatest intelligence triumph. Genghis Khan was acutely aware of the bitter power struggle between Sultan Muhammad and his mother, Turkan Khatun. By forging fake letters, Mongol intelligence shattered the Sultan's trust in his own commanders. Paralyzed by suspicion, the Sultan divided his massive army among various cities instead of concentrating them at a single front. Already armed with the defense plans for every city, the Mongols swallowed the vast empire piece by piece. The expedition led by Subutai and Jebe in 1221 was not merely a war, but history's greatest armed reconnaissance mission. During this scouting mission, they discovered the disunity among the Russian principalities and the cumbersome nature of European knightly tactics. The data gathered laid the groundwork for the Great Western Campaign that would breach the gates of Europe years later. Genghis Khan was not just a conqueror, he was one of history's greatest intelligence masterminds. His success stemmed not from the sharpness of his sword, but from knowing his enemies better than they knew themselves. As academic studies demonstrate, the Mongols transformed intelligence from a mere military unit into the very cornerstone of the state. Today, we can trace the roots of many methods used by modern intelligence agencies back to this vast network established 800 years ago in the heart of the steppe. Do you believe it would have been possible to govern such a vast territory through the sword alone, without the aid of modern technology? Let's discuss in the comments. History books describe them as an unstoppable hurricane. But months before Genghis Khan's armies ever reached a city, the Mongols were already walking its streets. Whenever Genghis Khan decided to wage war, he already knew the enemy's troop count, the amount of grain in their granaries, and even the bitter rivalry between the king and his vizier. Today, we examine the most vast and efficient intelligence network